Hi, my name is Darryl Brown with ChristmasLightShow.com. I'm going to show you our pulley head, mega tree hook head, and crank. How you can set up your own tree using these three parts. Or we have the fourth part, which is our 5-way stand. Some people like to concrete their pole into the ground, but the other option is to use our 5-way stand. Depending on how high you're going to go, like typically for a 10-foot tree, I would just put 30-inch pieces of pipe in here. Then they bolt down, and then I have 4 in. That's my 4 legs. And then the pole pin here that's sticking out, you can slide 1.25" pipe over this, or 1.25" EMT, which EMT just pretty much looks like, I describe it as fence post. If you're not familiar with electrical EMT. Also in the black gas pipe, you find in plumbing, you can't find it, you can find it in galvanized. Some plumbing has galvanized, but if you can't find it there, you can find it over in electrical. But this is the nicest way to do it, because if you don't want to permanently put something in the ground, this you could move your tree anywhere you want if you want to change it from year to year. But today in this video, I just want to kind of show you how to use the crank with the pulley head and the hook head. We have 2 hook heads, mega tree hook heads. We got this one that's 16 hooks, and it'll hold. It's more or less for a single color. You may be able to push 2 colors. Typically on a 16-channel tree, I like to have 4 sets of lights per hook, which gives me about 64 sets of lights total. This hook head, which you can see there's a big difference. The hooks on these are bigger. You got 24 hooks instead of 16, and this is designed for people that want to do 3 colors or just want to put a lot of lights on their tree. Alright, on the crank, the only thing you need to do is it'll come with everything you need. It'll come with the cable, this bolt, and then a U-bolt. When you get your pole, you need to drill a hole to fit the bolt through, and then just tighten that up, and then put your U-bolt in, and that'll pretty much hold you. But you want to kind of put it at your height. You want to make sure the hook head's going to come down where you can put your strings on, because that's the purpose, to get it down lower. You can stick this up higher if you want the crank here, wherever you think. But I just kind of keep mine about level with my chest. Okay, now you're going to have to take, before you put your pulley head on, you need to make sure you have your hook head on, and you're going to want the nut that's welded on to be faced opposite of your hand crank. Okay, for the purposes of this video, I have these, this is the KL150. These are really easy to use, but you'll get in your kit with the hand crank, you'll just get a regular wire cable clip like this. But just for this video, I want to speed it up and show you. You're going to take this side and go ahead and get that hooked up. Take your slack out. Okay, and then on the hand crank, one other thing is just make sure your cable comes through here, and then I want to make sure my cable comes through the exact opposite. On the nut here, just make sure it's in between these 2 rods. And then same thing on the other side. You have 2 rods over here. Just make sure it comes down center. And you can't see the pulley head now because it's up above us, but you want to make sure the pulley is parallel to this, to your crank. Okay, and then on your crank, you'll see 2 little Phillip head bolts. Okay, I'm going to run So you got a couple hose here you can run out. I'm going to run through this hole here, and I've gotten this loosened up where I'm going to pull this cable. This cable is actually, they use, I think what's the next size up, 1/4 inch for this pulley. For this cable winch, but we're using 1/8 inch, and so this actually doesn't hold it that well. So what you do is you pull it through, and then you feed it back through, and pull your slack out as much as you can, and because you want this flat here so it doesn't hit here when the crank's going around. I'm going to go ahead and just get all my slack taken out of it. Okay, now I got all the slack out. Pretty much from here, you're just going to go ahead and put all your strings on, spread them out. A little trick I learned, especially if you're in tight areas, like my second year, well, my first year putting up a tree, or no, my second year I had a crank up tree. We had bushes right behind us, so it's kind of hard to string a 50-foot string out. So what we did was we rolled them up in balls and just stuck all the balls around the tree. And as you're cranking up, the balls will unravel. As you're cranking up, it's slightly lean, but unless you have threads in the middle, it may hit them and get a little bit stuck, but it's not that bad. You can usually just take it off. But we're just demonstrating with a 10-foot pole, but typically this is made for anybody doing a 20-foot tree or higher. Can be used on a 10-foot. Maybe you want to start with the 10-foot tree and next year increase your size to a 20-foot tree. But I personally don't use these on my 10-foot trees. But it's up to you. It does, once you have it set up, it does make, setup much quicker. But if you have any more questions, or feel free to, best way to email is off the product page. It's got a link there to click to ask questions, and that'll send us your email from that product so we know exactly what you're talking about. But like I say, if you have any questions, or you go to our support page, and we'll be happy to answer anything you have. Thank you.